So last time we just briefly touched on the causes of the Great Depression. We didn't go into it too much, but we just touched it. Here, we're going to do the same thing. We'll just talk a little bit about the ending of the Great Depression, or theories about the ending of the Great Depression. The standard story is that World War II pulled us out of the Depression. This is when GDP numbers started to rise and unemployment fell. There is an absurdity in economics of using GDP and unemployment numbers this way. Of course, no unemployment would occur if you send everyone off to fight and many off to die in a war. Between 1940 and 1943, the number of unemployed workers declined by a bit over 7 million. But the number in the military service rose by a bit over 8.5 million. Of course you can get rid of unemployment with a war, but that is not the same thing as prosperity. Even the accuracy of the numbers being used is a bit sketchy. It is known that the government estimates of the value of military spending was increasingly exaggerated as the war progressed. Even still, most estimates and corroborating anecdotal evidence clearly show decline in real consumption spending. This was happening during the war. Consumers were getting worse and worse off in the United States. Consumers were asked to ration, and they did. Showing the GDP is up does not mean that things are getting better. If you have to ration and skimp by, that's not increased prosperity. Rationing and a draft are not an economic recovery. Sure, they create low unemployment, and along with the high government spending that was taking place with the war, we get numbers that look good. GDP is up because we're spending a bunch on the war, and unemployment is down, so it looks like our economy is thriving. The numbers look good. But claiming that all you have to do is look at these numbers and see that World War II caused an escape from the Depression is statistics without a grounding in reality of what they mean or how their meaning changed during the wartime. Simon Kuznets, the man who invented GDP as a statistical measure, himself said, quote, "The welfare of a nation can scarcely be inferred from a measurement of national income as defined by the GDP. Goals for more growth should specify of what and for what. Just having GDP numbers going up does not mean that we have actually recovered." So we've looked at some debate as to what caused the Great Depression, and we have a story of what got us out of the Great Depression. And we basically said, economics doesn't have a whole lot to say about these areas that we can concretely go forward with. But what we can concretely say is up next. What made the Great Depression so great?